Are you ready to break free from the doubts and limits holding you back? Welcome to Embrace Your Value, where therapy meets coaching to help you unlock your true worth and take control of your life.
Hi, I'm Kristen, a trauma therapist dedicated to helping you heal, break old patterns, and reclaim your power.
And I'm Jen, your support coach, here to show you how to set fierce boundaries, embrace self-compassion, and step boldly into the life you deserve.
So, whether you're stuck in self doubt or feeling lost, know this: your value isn't up for negotiation. It's time to own it.
Every week, we tackle real issues that challenge, inspire, and empower you to live with purpose and confidence.
So, grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's get started.
Because you're not here to play small. It's time to embrace your value. Hey, welcome back. We are so glad that you guys are back with us for another week of Embrace Your Value. I am super excited because we have a special guest today, and I'm going to let Kristen tell you all about her.
Yes, I'm so excited. My good friend and mentor, Crystal, is on the show with us today. I'm excited for what she has to share with you guys. For over 10 years, Crystal has guided individuals in transforming the ways they interact with the world, helping them move beyond unhealthy patterns through a blend of intuitive wisdom, embodied experience, and trauma-informed practices. Crystalline offers a safe space where you can have a felt experience of your truth, tapping into the language of frequency to go beyond duality and uncover a unified truth. Her approach is both down to earth and deeply spiritual, balancing the practical and metaphysical to provide simple yet powerful guidance. You'll navigate emotional, mental, and spiritual challenges, helping you break free from old cycles and access deeper emotional and spiritual freedom. So I welcome Crystal. And just before you open your mouth, because I just want to say this, I have done this with Crystal. She has absolutely transformed so many things in my life. It's amazing. An invaluable person to have met, just guided right to me. So please welcome everyone, Crystal.
Thank you for sharing about your experience as well. Yes, I am a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator and energy healer. Everything that I do, from energy healing to activations to trauma release, all of it is trauma informed. I believe that is moving at the body's pace, which we're starting to catch on to. I'm there for those that have really started awakening to their emotions and their feelings, that can feel that there's something there that's in conflict with them. I call it the soul. So I really support soul autonomy. My belief in the intention that is grounded in the work that I do for others, my own embodied path, is that the body is the entrance to the subconscious. And I know a lot of us use the mind, but there's so much more to us. Mind. I have found through my own journey, as well as working with clients for the last 10 years, that getting to the subconscious through our felt sense, through our nervous system, through staying present with our reactionary physiological responses, actually bring forth our innate wisdom in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know tons about Crystal, Jen. So I'm interested to see what questions you have for her.
I guess my first question would be, especially for our listeners that maybe don't know very much about this or are new to all of this, If somebody is feeling disconnected in their body, how would they know that? What
Oh
would
my
they
God.
come to you and be like, Crystal, how would they know that?
No, I love this. I love this question because so we're catching on to this, but, and you, Kristen, you know this, but like trauma lives in the body. It doesn't live in the mind. Okay. So I think that's a misconception that has really been intertwined in what healing consists of. What's important is when people are having trauma responses, when they can't get out of their head, when they're overthinking, when anxiety is consuming them, when depression is like they have a lead vest on and they can't move, their body is talking to them. And so they're in complete conflict, they're in complete confusion because they don't know what to do with the awareness they're feeling in their body, with their emotions and with their feelings. Because emotions and feelings are two different things.
Expand on that a little, please.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm tuning into the delivery of this. This is what I do. I drop into my body, so I'm not just speaking from my head.
Yeah.
Emotion is energy in motion. That's what an emotion is. And there are infinite number of emotions, right? There's an emotional wheel. There's all kinds. When you're processing emotions, you want to know what the emotion is. You want to know what the root is. You want to know all these things. Because yes, there is a need for that. But sometimes just processing the emotion stops there and it doesn't get to the feeling, the sensation, being able to hold space for yourself when you're in a trauma response. Mm-hmm. Bringing the body back online is not a passive experience in the body. It's not peaceful. It's highly activating. Mm-hmm. It's when you're in those trauma responses, when you feel like there is something that is just nagging you, that is in conflict with your day to day. I will support you in being able to come into peace and presence in your day to day and your practical reality. Utilizing the ability and the capacity that we have as spiritual humans, being able to access our soul, like access the information, our intuition, our innate wisdom that lives in our body. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think that was very beautifully said. So thank you for being so clear and concise in that, because I think that was perfect. How would you take a person through being confused in their body, feeling that, to being able to process that emotion and actually get into the feels?
Yes, beautiful. The healing that I serve at is not linear.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is there's channels that we open as we come into more awareness within ourselves. And so we access that awareness, and then I teach people how to actually integrate those parts of themselves that they have awareness of, but they deny, they dislike, they reject. Our nervous system actually can block, even when we have everything in our mind to want to move beyond a limitation, our nervous system can block it.
Yeah.
Learning how to flex our window of tolerance with our nervous system is what I support in teaching people how to integrate the parts of themselves. Yeah. This is a really important part of the work that I do. I think it's a missing part in a lot of situations. And so integration, so awareness, integration, and then embodiment. And embodiment is, of course, embodying who you are, not apologizing for who you are, being in your own autonomy, being able to be in a relationship without losing yourself, right? Are social beings, but we have to learn how to co-regulate. And a lot of these things that we're not thinking about because our mind has us thinking something else. I hope that answers the question. There's so much more to it.
It's very complicated. Like so one thing that Crystal, just my own little story. One thing that really what you were saying about, and I'm sure you guys saw me smirking over here, is like all the integration. So we did a lot of work on, I would call them parts, different parts of myself, and bringing them back to the whole. So reintegrating these parts that had been injured, lost, or left behind, or whatever it was. Like, I'm just using my language, Crystal. And so we worked on bringing those back because what was happening to me, and I can only say what was happening to me, was I was getting lost outside myself. So I had to bring all of these parts of myself. We did this really good, and I've used it, Crystal, like I've used it in session. We did this great thing where I like searched for my parts. And you were like, where are they? And I was like pulling them from different parts of the country. It was crazy. And we were just bringing them back. To me, that was, I don't think we've ever even talked about this, Crystal. I think that was one of the most powerful exercises that we did, that you guided me through, that you held me in, was reintegrating all of those lost, injured, left behind parts. And that felt like that got me over a big hump of a lot of stuff that I was going through. So that's my experience with Crystal.
I love that you're sharing this because it's different for everybody. I am a divine channel.
Mm-hmm.
That might sound a little woo, but I can actually channel someone's soul and what they are needing in the moment, because my work, again, is soul autonomy, moving beyond the duality of good and bad. The soul has to have the experiences it needs to evolve. And so I support people and coming into alignment with that, even though their mind might think it's something else. So
And
that's what Kristen is sharing, is that that was channeled for her.
And we do this when we're just hanging out, and we'll channel each other.
Yes.
And she taught me how to channel my intuition. And that was incredibly valuable to me. And I have really used that. And I think it's notched my game up like a ton. Just knowing what was happening with me intuitively, that I wasn't crazy because these things were coming into my mind, but also how to use them, how to fine tune it, how to integrate it. I love integration. So I just found all of it invaluable. And I love that you're still my friend.
Oh my God, of course. Yeah. No, beautiful. I could go on and on because, like, the thing is even if we're getting like intuitive insight, downloads, whatever it might be, or we're experiencing some of the deeper hardships of being human, there's a spectrum. No matter where we're at on that spectrum, it's going to wreak havoc on our nervous system. Even if we're experiencing epicness and joy, it's still taking our nervous system out of alignment. Mm-hmm. People don't realize this. And so for people that are listening that don't really understand what's going on, your channel is probably opening up. You're probably getting downloads, and it's actually frying your nervous system and creating a trauma response in your body. This goes in all different directions depending upon what your soul needs to experience to evolve.
So one thing that I know that I would like for you to talk about is the breath work. How does that then help with the nervous system?
Oh yeah, such a good question. I have a signature modality called devotion to breath. There are different ways to use the breath. I'm not just talking about something you use every once in a while or go to a class and do some breath work and release some trauma or get activated. I am firm believer that we have to be very intentional with how we're using the breath because it is powerful. Our breath, I believe, is the manifestation of our life force. Just sit with that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful our breath is. And it's involuntary. So my intention is to ground this into people being devotional, having a devotion to their breath, like really embodying what the breath is. It is life. And so we can use it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
And breath work, what I teach is I teach active breathing with breath retention and also mantra breathing. And so these are all different things that if you ever choose to connect with me, I can expand on. But I do want to share what breathwork is doing just on the physiological level real quick, just putting a little my science hat on real quick. It's what breath does is it accelerates, so active breathing. So if you are actually using the tool, your depth and your speed is being intentionally controlled by you or by a facilitator that's guiding you. What's happening is you are pulling in more oxygen at once than what your body is used to. You're accelerating the process of the exchange of gases of CO2 and oxygen. This activates the nervous system. As you consistently build upon this, you're flexing your window of tolerance with your nervous system. Your nervous system is learning how to hold space for itself, even in the uncomfortable, even in a trauma response. So breath work isn't always about, hey, let me regulate myself. Yes, that's one thing, but it's also to cultivate a sense of safety in your body. Once you cultivate a sense of safety in your body, you can feel anything. Anything. You can feel loss, you can feel fear, you can feel joy, you can feel everything and anything. And know that you are separate from your feeling because your body is your home. So think about it. Weight loss, anything that we are self-sabotaging, projecting negative energy upon ourselves with, you can shift this through the breath. Does that answer your question, Kristen?
Yeah. Any additional questions, Jen?
Oh, I think that was very well explained. I like breath work a lot. Let me ask you a question around that. There are tons of different modalities and ways to do breath work. What do you do or how do you help somebody get through breath work if they do it? And I've done it before, and I know for me it just took a few times, but I've done it and it made me feel nauseous for the first 5, 6, 7 times I did it. I was just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So what do you do to help through that?
The combination of working with me in a mentorship and having channeled sessions is highly supportive. But you have to shift your perspective on feeling nauseous being bad. I teach you to go into that feeling.
Okay.
And surrender to it. Within surrendering to it, it dissipates because it's no longer having power over you. You learn more about this as you cultivate these felt sense experiences because your nervous system, it learns it doesn't learn by being, it learns through experience. And so it's holding space for yourself to have those experiences, but also at the same time listening to your body. If you're getting way too nauseous, then maybe you need to go into a top hold or a bottom hold, Or maybe you just need to come back to your natural breath for a minute and let the sensations move through your body. There's a lot of different guided suggestions, invitations that will support you in moving beyond that.
Okay.
But I will say, like for me, I found breath work about 4 years ago. I embody everything I teach. And I would say for probably the first 6 months, and I wasn't even doing strong active breath work. I was just doing a patterned breath. And it took me probably about 6 months to be able to fully surrender to what the breath was actually supporting me in.
Okay. That's fair. I was just curious because when I asked the instructor leading the class, they were just like, oh, just sit up and breathe. It'll be fine. And there was nothing else to it. And I was like, okay, all right. I just thought it just hit me. And I thought, I'm going to ask because I didn't really feel like that was finalized for me. I felt like I missed something.
Yeah, because I'm so glad you brought this to light because that's not trauma informed. And I'm not kidding. People can throw themselves into a frozen trauma response by doing breath work through guidance that is not connected, not embodied, because they're just using their mind. They're not using their felt sense. As a facilitator, we have to let go of trying to control your experience or sharing something that is what we think is supposed to be shared. We have to let all that go. You are on your own journey. And we have to really soften into that. And again, that's a whole nother thing that I teach, because I teach healers to be embodied healers that can actually have soul autonomy and don't get their vibration affected by other people's healings.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I love that so much. Thank you. That was very good. So what other, when you talk about embodied work, what other modalities or things do you do when you do embodied work? What else comes up? And do you teach people around that?
Yeah, beautiful. So I am also a transformation mediator. Okay. And so this is not necessarily a mainstream modality. It is a one-time energy healing treatment, but it is a catalyst for moving your body through the crystallining process. And it supports upgrading your auric field. So I work a lot with the aura. I work a lot with the chakra system. I work a lot with balancing the energetic body, the astral body, the etherical body, how our ancestral energy is affecting people are being attacked, like on a psychological level. And so I support that on a metaphysical level as well. And it's wild how it can shift how we're informing our reality. Aura transformation is upgrading the aura. The aura is the communication barrier between the manifested and the unmanifested. And for the most part, depending upon when you were born, based on the theory in aura transformation, you have an outdated aura for the higher consciousness that we are moving into on this planet as human beings, and why everything is in complete chaos, because nobody knows how to handle their emotions and their feelings. I offer aura transformation as well, which is a in-person, one-time energy healing treatment that I can send a free PDF on, as well as some free videos. Because really people just, it's more of a felt sense. Like I don't want to talk so much about the theory of it as much as if it's for you or not. And it's really for those that are empaths, having a tough time functioning in the world because they're sensitive souls and getting distracted by everybody else's shit.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
There it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. That might be worth a trip down there to talk about that.
Yes. And I'm even thinking about maybe doing a retreat in Sedona and offering aura transformation.
I'd go back to Sedona.
And that, yeah.
But you are closer to me where Kristen is.
Yes.
I'm less than 3 hours north. So
And you need to see me.
I know, right? We can all go to Sedona. We've never been. It's definitely worth the trip. I loved Sedona so much.
Quick personal share. I had a lot of trauma with spiritual community and even wayward culty situation because I was so vulnerable and didn't have boundaries. My awareness was out of sorts. I had way too much awareness, and I could feel, see, and hear energy overnight. Like, it wasn't this gradual thing for me. It was abruptly like, here you go, here's all your gifts, now figure out how to harness them. This is why I'm where I'm at. This is why I do what I do. This is where God has led me and where universe has guided me. The last time I was in Sedona was like 2018, because that's when everything shifted for me, when I was spiritually traumatized by a group in a company that was in the personal development world. So going back to Sedona is going to be huge for me, and so beautiful, and it's calling to me. And yeah, but there is a lot of coaching trauma out there that's not being talked about. And so I support people in being able to get over that hump as well.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that are just in this field, the coaching, the self-healing, that are just in it for the money and will sell you anything. They will tell you stuff. I've had coaches myself that I've bought into programs that I'm like, what was I thinking? But they sound good in the moment and you think they're the right way to go. A lot of what I'm doing, I've learned through trial and error. And that's really where I lead my clients. I'm like, this is what I've learned. This is what I want to teach you. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why cultivating discernment is so important.
Yes.
In this day and age, we have way too much information being thrown at us.
That's funny that you bring up cultivating discernment, because I was just chatting with a client about that last night. And we were talking about how to discern what's right and what's not. And even from a Christian level, because she had a youth leader tell her that what she was feeling was coming from Satan when clearly it was not. And so we spent a lot of time talking about that. And yeah, discernment's, that's a good topic, Kristen. We should work on that one day. We haven't done discernment. That would be a good one for us.
I'm down for discernment.
In order to discern, you have to be in your body. If your body's not aligned, if you're disconnected from your body, you're going to have a really tough time discerning. And you're going to feel like, oh my God, is that ego? Is that intuition? Is it Satan? Is it God? Wherever your consciousness is, there is a duality. And so it's understanding that you can move beyond that duality.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where we got to with her. When you feel it in your soul, it's spirit led. It's for you. When you feel it up here and you're like, this isn't right, and you're going back and forth and you're fighting, that's other stuff. Let that go. Let that be that. Crystal, we're going to have you on again. This is beautiful. I love it. Will you tell our listeners, and we'll put stuff down in the show notes too, but will you tell our listeners how to get in touch with you and how to really connect with you if they're looking for more?
The best way to connect with me, if you're just coming in from my outside orbit, is through Facebook, through Instagram. I have a website, but it's not fully connected to everything. So Crystal Tiehen is my Facebook. Crystalline Your Journey. That's one L, Crystline. Your Journey is my business Facebook and Instagram handle. Crystalline Your Journey. Right. And those are the best ways to get a hold of me, and then we go from there.
I'll link those all in the show notes so that they're there. Any last minute thoughts?
No, I'm just excited we finally got this down, and I would love to have Crystal back anytime. Thank you, my friend, for being amazing.
You are so amazing as well. I just love that I have so many soul connections in my life, because as I've shifted my vibration, I now have incredible humans in my life. And Kristen's one of them.
She's amazing. I learned that several months ago.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And yes, thank you all for joining us. And we will see you next week. Have an amazing one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Thank you for being here with us today.
If today's episode hit home, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone deserves to know their worth.
Next week, we're diving even deeper with more insights and tools to help you break free from limitations and live authentically.
Until then, keep raising your standards, owning your worth, and embracing your value.